Well, hello and good morning again, everybody. Welcome back to Garden Goddess Tarot and the epic. Oh my gosh, I'm finally doing it. Need to declutter my whole collection and declutter video series. Woo! Oh my goodness. Okay. Actually, that shouldn't go far. Today's a fun day. Today is part 2 of the Samhain special, in which we are talking about all of my witchy-ish decks. So the last one of the Samhain special was the dark decks. Now we've kind of traversed into the slightly more, what I would consider a witchy deck. Now, this is of course open for interpretation. Literally any deck is technically a witchy deck. It all depends how you use it and your perspective, etc., etc. And there's definitely some that are going to be in other categories that should be here and whatever. I'm trying to like create some semblance of order in which we separate my behemoth of a collection down into manageable, digestible chunks for myself so I can work my way through. But we've been doing so good. We've decluttered something like 35 decks so far, so I'm super proud of myself. Today, I'm hoping we have a bit of a task ahead of us, and so we're gonna motor. We're gonna need to motor through this, I think. I'm not gonna linger. I don't want to talk too long about each of them. However, it is nice to have like between 20 and 50 little mini reviews in each video, but I'm gonna try and keep it concise because we have a lot to get through. If I can get close to 10 of these decks decluttered today, I will be very proud of myself because I feel like this category is one that I might have a hard time with. So anyway, we will see how that goes to start off with, obviously. So I'm excited. I'm going to try and stick to my usual compare and contrast sort of framework, but there's just so many today that it'll be a wild time. And if you haven't caught up on the rest of the series, I will link the playlist down below, which has the previous 3 videos as well as any others that I publish after this, all in there. And just a little reminder as well, like these are these are my likes and dislikes, whether like I'm going to keep the ones I like. I'm going to declutter the ones that I feel like I'm done with, and honestly, each one of these decks is technically a good deck. I bought it, I liked it. You know, that's how it kind of goes. But one can only use so many tarot decks in their life, and I'm in a place where it is time for me to cull things down a little bit. So that's kind of the mental framework, the parameters, how I'm feeling, how I'm thinking about things right now. So let's get into it. That's going to be a weird one. So it's going to be witchy decks, and I'm also going to throw my plant decks in there because for me that's a very particularly witchy category. We'll do those kind of towards the end. They'll come up as they come up. Let's just go. Let's get into it. We're going to start with this, and I'm going to put this one up against my literal most recent deck. Just because why not? So this is the Llewellyn Tarot by Anna Marie Ferguson, which is my dad's middle name and my grandmother's last name. This is interesting. This might be tricky. I don't know. We'll see. The Llewellyn is a Welsh word. It's also the name of the publishing company who makes a lot of occult and witchy books and decks and calendars and almanacs and that sort of thing. And there is myth attached to it. As one could see, my family this is going to come up a couple times in this video because this is something I'm personally struggling with quite a bit. I have Celtic and Gaelic heritage, quite recently, in fact, but I have such little personal connection to those legends and myths. But I feel like this weird guilt, like I should be delving into them a little bit. So this is a Welsh mythology RWS clone type of tarot deck by Llewellyn, believe it or not. And it's really quite good. But I don't use it like ever. And I'm like wrestling with myself as to whether or not to just keep it around to have as a maybe later you will find more connection, or you'll be in a place where you're ready to explore this part of your like physical linear ancestral kind of ties, but for right now for me it just works as a clone, and I've been using it occasionally. I've been trying. Most of the minors are very, can use as a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, no problem, but the majors all have a kind of legend myth attached to them that you can read about and go into a little bit, but I haven't done that yet, and I have no, like, this, they don't mean anything to me. They're in They're in Welsh, which is a language I do not know. I have been to Wales, actually. So, like, there's also that aspect of it as well. I've been to Wales, a Welsh pool specifically, and I liked it. I loved it. It was beautiful. Landscape's incredible. The vibes are immaculate, but it's like it didn't light the fire underneath my butt like me being to a few other choice places in my past have been. So I don't know. It might just be a sit and wait on one, but for now this one's definitely, I think, going into purgatory. And I would like to put it up against, actually, let's do this. This Folkloric Forest, relatively new, Lennox Reese. Another kind of quietly legendary deck. Takes place in a forest. This one's found art. This one's intentionally created for a tarot deck. So they are kind of different beasts in that way. But oh, their backs even kind of have... It's always... I'm curious, like decks that I just kind of randomly throw together, seeing the similarities and differences between them kind of in action in real time. It's quite funny. Actually, these go really well together. But yeah, I like this one. I feel like I have more of a connection with, whereas this one I really did just kind of I sought it out and I picked it up because I felt like I should, which is probably like that's probably where the main issue comes with. It's not the deck's fault. I'm sure like for so many people it would do wonders and is a wonderful learning tool and all that stuff. But I think because I didn't come at it from a place of passion, from like a wand space, I came at it from more of a sword space. And for me, there's like nowhere in my chart to pull in a birth chart sort of perspective here. Whereas this feels fiery and earthy and a little watery all in one together. But I don't know. They're both phenomenal decks, but I just at this point I can't just keep around decks just because they're good, but I don't know. So this one is one I'm considering letting go of, the Llewellyn Tarot over here. And then the Folkloric Forest is not just because I've only had it like a week. It's one I would like to get to know a little bit better and that sort of thing. So it's just interesting seeing these up against each other. Maybe this one just needs some good companions. But am I invested enough to put that time and energy in, right? Like I can sit here and pontificate all day long about, oh, this would be good with this, or maybe this would be better if I did this with it. But if like I'm not going to take the initiative to do those things, no matter how helpful they would be, that's not super useful, right? Whereas something like this, I will immediately be like, oh yes, I will pick this up. This feels, I don't know, it's just, it's like sensual in its own unique and wonderful way that I appreciate and enjoy. So anyway, that's the first decision. The Llewellyn Tarot, I think, is going to go to limbo. Not in the immediately declutter, because I want to think about it a little bit. But I think for right now, there's just so many other things that this particular deep dive into my Welsh heritage and the myths and legends that followed those people way back in the day. I don't know, maybe one day I will wake up with a deep connection. And the thing is, it is mass market. It's still available. If I did get rid of it, I could get it again. That is also something to be considered. Where'd the box go? So yeah, I think that one, for now, she's gonna hang in the to-go pile. So, Llewellyn out-ish. Chill, and then Folkloric Forest will be one of the goodies that stays. Like how I said I need to go fast, but I've just been dawdling the whole time. Okay, I'm gonna put these two up against each other. Got the Slavic Legends Tarot over here by Taroteca Studios, and then the Druid Craft over here by Will Worthington and Stephanie Cargam. This is like cult classic in the tarot world. This is the big box one. Much like the Llewellyn, large box. But as we all know, if it's in a big box, I don't reach for it. This just sits. And I've had 2 iterations of this in the past. and have really and truly used neither of them. I had the one in the small box, and I thought maybe the reason I wasn't getting on with it was because they didn't have the big book, but that wasn't the problem. Let's get the Slavic legend. Look at this. It's a little book. Oh, isn't she cute? Anyway, this is a beautiful Eastern European Slavic themed legendary deck. Both of these have the same premise in their own kind of way. It's the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot with a layer. It is clothed in a certain region's mythology. This one being with a slightly Wiccan flair, druidic, Celtic legend lore in there. And then this one from a more Slavic perspective. So these two, I feel like, do kind of the same thing within my collection. Both of them are kind of a comfortable distance from me in where I find my style and inspiration, I guess we should say. Neither of them feel immediately like me, which is probably a reason to consider getting rid of both of them. But I do like to use the Slavic Legends one out of its own context. Whereas I have less of luck trying to do that with the Druidcraft over here. The Druidcraft is just like a druidy aesthetic version of the Rider-Waite-Smith. Whereas, like, there's little things that kind of I recognize, but I recognize them, but I don't feel great power from them, I guess. I don't get the fizzy sparks from the references. Whereas this one over here, the Slavic Legends, it comes from a more, I don't know, magical space for me. It feels more, whereas this one just for me doesn't. And that's amazing. I know for a lot of people this probably, and it's been around for so long and it's been iconic for so long that for a lot of people, like, this is their tarot deck. But for me, it's not been. And I feel bad because, again, my heritage. My grandmother is from Scotland. My dad's side of the family comes from, like, Northern England and Wales. Like, it's in there. It's baked in. But I've just not unlocked it right now. So I think ultimately I like this one more. I'm a sucker for a black backgrounded dark deck. The art style in this just lights me up. There's bits in it for me, I guess, whereas this Druidcraft over here just it doesn't light me up the same way. So that's okay. It's gonna go in limbo, and it'll be fine there. It'll always be around, I'm sure. But yeah, if I don't reach for it, it doesn't need to hang around. So I guess it's as simple as that. I need to remind myself. Will Worthington's art is just so beautiful, though. But yeah, I don't do the Wicca, so that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Whereas this feels a little bit more wild, but again, it could just be like the nature of the way that Slavic legends do kind of translate to image. Druidcraft is gonna chill with Llewellyn Tarot for a while somewhere, and then Slavic Legends is gonna stay. Because I have a curiosity about it. Here's one that I've kind of just been ride or die for lately. The book isn't even around, or not the book, the box isn't even around because it's just been out with its book. This is the Midnight Magic Tarot by Sarah Richard. It's been like my ride or die the last little while. Like, it's been months. Pretty much since the end of August, I've been just like using this, and I read it like a pip deck. But like not like a pip deck, but which card it is has more weight than what's going on in the images, but I do really appreciate the darkness of it. You'll see the theme. I do love decks that kind of have this like weighty, heavy feel of darkness about them, but just like the quiet presence of mushrooms during a particularly stressful time when your life is a bit erratic. Like, I don't want a card with a million people running around doing crazy things. Like, that's just too reflective of me and what's going on. What I feel like I need is just mushrooms, just existing quietly, unnoticed underfoot, living their lives, in this whole like literal parallel universe to the world that we get to live in, you know? It's just so nice. There's a comfort in their quiet presence, I guess, is what I'm attempting to articulate. And I do like how the images kind of evoke the Rider-Waite-Smith in movement and form, and it's subtle and it's beautiful, and it works for me. It works for me quite a bit. So this one has just been kind of, even though it's been mean, if I would stop getting the 9 of Swords in this deck, that would be nice. That would be nice. That's just to say, you can curate your deck choice to help your situation as much as possible, but those cards will find you. They will seek you out and they will chase you down, no matter which deck you choose. If it's a tarot, it happens. Anyway, Midnight Magic Tarot has been absolute ride or die lately. One that I am considering letting go, I guess. Okay, this is a Forger's Daughter Tarot. This is the Afterlight edition. This is the first Kickstarter I ever kickstarted. It is by, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to tell you, because her name's on the book and the book isn't here. It's over there. This is a beautiful deck, but it is technically an animal deck, and one thing that you'll get to know about me quite quickly is I generally don't like animal decks. Like, they do nothing. They do zero for me. There is the occasional plant energy through this, but for the most part, its primary focus is animal. But it's such a well done deck. It is so beautiful. It's on gorgeous linen cardstock. It's like super, like the shuffle is lovely. It's gilded in gold. The backs are stunning. It has a hardcover book. The whole experience of using it is wonderful. I'm not super drawn to working specifically with animal energy. Whereas like mushrooms, they're just like, they're their own thing. They've their own classification in the scientific nomenclature system. Like they're a group all of their own. Fungi. But yeah, animals, I don't know. But it's one that it's seasonally appropriate. It's got a good spread of animals that really, they're a reflection of the type of animals that I see here and interact with in my daily life in the part of the world that I live in. Like, it's all so familiar and it should work. But I'm just, as good as an animal deck is, I really do feel like it's one, especially from a tarot, maybe less so in an oracle. I might be able to get on with it a bit better, but again, I just don't pick them up. So I don't know. Oh, and then the moon phases are in all the court cards too. Like, that's brilliant. But I also don't work with the moon a lot either. But maybe I will at some point. I don't know. But this is a beautiful, incredibly witchy deck. If you are the kind of person who does animal work, this deck... There's another edition which has darker colored borders that align with the suits. But I like this one. It has kind of that Art Nouveau feel about it. And the guidebook does go into detail about, like, the type of flower. I mean, we do have some mushrooms present in it as well, but the type of flower chosen or the animal going or, like, the action that's happening. It is really good, but I do like that hermit card. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. So it might go into purgatory for a little while. The box as well, it should be this color, but I'd been keeping it in my garden shed because I was using it kind of outside in the garden for a long time. So it just got like the windows in the shed. It bleached them. So maybe like the back is maybe a closer color to what it's supposed to be, because yeah, no, it's had some sun damage. Wear sunscreen, kids, but yeah, it would live out in the shed. So also another reason why I wouldn't use it all that often, because usually when I'm out there I'm like busy working, but occasionally I would do some pulls in the garden shed with it, and that seemed like an appropriate place for it. But again, like, it just made it so I didn't use it very often. So I don't know. This one's another little maybe, whereas the Midnight Magic over here is, I'm having so much fun with it. Yeah. So anyway, that's a thought and a feeling that I currently have about these. But they're both like super, super really good. So yeah, for now, we will put Forger's Daughter And these, I think these three, as we talk, they're not all immediately no's. They're all like, I need to sit and think about them for a while, but they're in limbo. I'm going to stew about them just a little bit more, I think. But yeah, in comparison to ones that I do, like, it is a distinctly different feeling when you've got a deck in your hands that you're like, heck yes. And some of them have been hell no's, which we've done a lot of getting rid of the hell no's. But this is like a, like, not right. But that might change in time. So is it worth keeping around? It's not huge. So anyway, lots to think about. But let's do, this one's an easy one. This one, let's throw myself a softball. I have the Wild Unknown Tarot, which, again, it has that little bit of animaliness about it. And a lot of these kind of do. Witchy decks tend to have a lot of animals in them, which is fine. But as someone who doesn't work with animal energy, it's kind of, okay, this is also going to be a common thread. I have been looking, and I've been searching, and I've been buying decks in forever search of my perfect witchy tarot deck. The tarot deck that encompasses how I feel about my practice, what I do, how I interact with, the spirits of the land, plant, the earth, the forces of nature, so to speak. But this tarot deck does not exist. It's making me sad. I've tried lots, and I will implore you to leave all of your witchy deck, specifically tarot, recommendations in the comments, because I'm desperate. Obviously, it can't be too animal heavy, or else I won't pick it up. So that's not it. Maybe you'll get a better idea of what I mean as we talk about some other decks that have almost been it for me. Oracle, there's lots of oracles that fit that category. For some reason, Oracle translates so well to that vibe, but tarot, not so much. Anyway, I have 2 copies of the Wild Unknown Tarot, which I find it a very witchy deck. Shall we look at them both? Why not? I bought this one first because it was the mass market one. And I didn't think I was going to like this deck. Again, mostly because of the animal situation. But upon using it, I kind of discovered that it has animals in it, but it's really, truly just like a pip deck. Like, much like the Midnight Magic, the mushroom one, I read it as the energy of the tarot, colored through the imagery, as opposed to drawing on the energy of the symbols of the animals, specifically. I don't need 2 copies of this, though. So, one's gonna go, I think, and just based on what I feel, even though I think I'm technically more, like, I've used the mass market one more, this one is absolutely fantastic for readings for other people. It's easy. And it has a little bit of a black and white feel about it, which I like, but pops of color which focus the energy in on interesting spots. Look at that. Yeah. So, anyway, I think I'm going to get rid of the mass market one, and I'm going to keep the indie one. Just because, even though there's a copyright on the indie one, it just says Kim Crayons, but I didn't notice that before. And then the mass market one does not have the copyright on it. That's funny. Do you see this? Maybe difficult to see, but yeah, on each of the cards, there's a copyright. This one does not have it. That's very curious. Anyway, I don't mind too much, but I think I'm still going to keep the indie one. Cardstock's a bit thicker. It stands a bit taller. The backs look different. And then there's a few differences in a couple of the cards. I think Justice was changed, and there's a few others that have like a bit more color in this one, but I prefer the more quietly neutral shades of this one. Anyway, it is what it is. Not complicated, easy choice. Don't need 2 copies of the Wild Unknown. So, also, this is one that I'm going to say, this is another hot-ish take. Maybe it's a lukewarm take because I've said it before a long time ago. But this really didn't need the song and dance of the huge box and guidebook. I think it was let's make it take up more space on the shelf. Because the guidebook is not good. It is not good. It offers you nothing more than a little white book in a giant, which is so funny because with her archetypes deck and the alchemy deck, the guidebooks are good. There's a lot of juicy goodness in it. I don't know why there's not for the tarot. It's just such like a simple little white book, meaning it's a huge page. It only takes up this much in the middle. There was a loss of potential there just because it was such a big book. There could have been more words of wisdom put in it, but there weren't. So anyway, yeah, book is not good. This is all the deck needed to be, but I think it was just a case of they wanted it to take up more space on the shelf so people would buy it, which worked because everybody has this freaking deck. But this one's gonna go. This one's gonna stay. And now those are my thoughts on the Wild Unknown. So jumping off the back of the mushroom deck, the creator of that one also had a hand in creating this. She was the artist, Sarah Richard. I think I like her art style a lot. And if she would actually make a tarot deck that was like this oracle deck, but was actually a tarot, I think that would solve my problem. I think it would. But she hasn't done this yet. So she's out there. She's listening. Sarah Richard, my dear, please make me a tarot deck like this. I love your mushroom one, but it isn't all the time. It isn't everything. Something like this is more everything. I'm going to put this one up against another. So sorry, did I even say? This is the Green Witch's Oracle deck, and it's going to go up next to the Green Witch Oracle. There's a lot of overlap in titles of these kind of decks. They all seem to be kind of called roughly the same thing, but that's okay. This is a Sherilyn Darcy deck by Rockpool. This is who published this one? They're a new-ish publisher. Simon & Schuster. That's who it is. Yes. Simon & well, not new-ish, but new-ish to making Oracle decks that I know of anyway. But so far the production has been absolutely incredible on these ones. So happy to keep an eye on them and see what they're up to. But yeah, Rockpool, Sherilyn Darcy deck, Green Witch Oracle. They both have... They're a deck of things, so definitely the kind of deck that I would pull in with a tarot deck. So a nice matching tarot deck with this would be so good. This one has a couple of keywords. This one has one keyword and a title underneath it. There's a few symbols around it that kind of relate to what's going on, but not like the most ever. But this one I bought first. This is one of the first Oracle decks. I say this a lot. I can remember this coming in like a long time ago, whereas this is a relatively more recent. Maybe I've only had this one or year or so. I don't know. I'm really bad at judging time right now. I've been living in a portal for a while. But they do essentially the same thing, and I will always reach for this one instead of this one. There's a little bit more of a diverse energy about this one, whereas this kind of it sticks to plants and food. Food being, which is also plants. It's pretty much just a plant deck. But this one is so fun, and I've used it with my sisters and like my family. I did readings with like this in a tarot deck before, and all of them absolutely lost their minds. Like it was hilarious kind of way. I think one of my sisters got the lettuce card, and she has not ever, like to this day, like forgotten how hilarious it was that she got lettuce. Like her oracle card was lettuce. Are you kidding me? It's beautiful. It's fun. It's got like lots of beautiful flowers and fun plants that are, witchy, like craft adjacent. You can use any, really, like any. You can harness the power of any plant. Grass, if you want it. Like it's you. Your practice. You do what you want. So like having the like basically hit list of typical herbs is, I guess it's all right. It's fine. But this one, it's got more diverse concepts in it. Like we've got like a hearth in here. The sages in both of them. Like an earthworm, which are technically animals, but it like works in the, I don't know. It works. Potion. Mortar and pestle. There's a banana card. Like that's just funny to me. But it's just saying, you can work with anything around you. But just, that's just so funny because we like, how far south do I have to go before bananas will grow? Yet here I am with a banana card. I don't know, it's just so funny. It's just so funny. Also, why is a banana duality? Why do we have a caduceus on a banana? Tell me what's going on. I guess it's yellow, but that's very interesting. That's so funny. Anyway, but yeah. Whereas this feels, I don't know, more right. But there's nothing wrong with this. But again, I just don't use it anymore. This is another one that lived in the shed for a while. And would pull occasionally, like with the other Forager's Daughter. And there's a beet card. It does kind of have a garden-y deck. It does feel like the garden. Except for that random banana card. But yeah, they're different, but they're also the same. Cauliflower's transition? Why? Alright, maybe it's not as intuitive. Sometimes the keywords on this one are a bit funny. Productivity for pumpkin is an interesting choice too, because of just what I know about. Like, you could have put duality on the grapes. That makes more sense. And then the abundance should go on the pumpkin. Like, if I was making it. So maybe I do have a few little nitpicky things about this one. But I think it's just like I do have a slight connection to it because it's older. It was one of, you know, my earlier Oracle deck like explorations. But I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay. I think it's gonna go. And obviously we will keep this one. Oh, there's a hedge card. I love a hedge. I'm obsessed with hedges. In practice, in theory. I love them. Crossing them, trimming them, growing them. I love a hedge. Okay. Agreement. Yes, that deck agrees. Hedges are good. Okay. So yeah, Green Witch Oracle. I think it's gonna go. Maybe I'll see if one of my sisters wants it. That might be a good spot for it. Be like, hey, do you remember that deck that had the lettuce card? Do you want it? They might like it. And then I'll keep this one around. Just to keep things easy. Anyway, those are those two. But it's just so funny. Like, look. What a world. Anyway. I wish the Green Witch Tarot deck was less Wiccan. Because I like that in theory. And the Witch's Garden is just missing something as well. Someone other than Llewellyn, please publish a Witchy Tarot deck. That's my problem. They're all Llewellyn decks. And I don't like Llewellyn decks for some reason. Okay. Who's next? What shall we do? Intuitive Night Goddess. Kind of witchy. Not sure. The boxes. I do like it. How cute. Oh, that's upside down. I was like, ooh, above and below. But no, that was just upside down. This is by Lindsay Silverman. And is a little mass market. It was originally indie, but it went mass market. It's kind of a collage-y. It's like, it says it's a goddess deck, but it's not really because they're not named goddesses. They're just like general divine feminine presence on all of the cards, which is fun. I just don't use it. I don't feel drawn to it, and I don't really feel the need to pick it up. I have other collage decks I like to use more. Something about this one also just feels emptier than some of my others. Mind you, that is a cute little death card. Do like that one. Ace of Swords. Yeah, it is what it is. I've been humming and hawing about that one for a while. I'm going to put it up against another little weirdo. The Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I love this. So, this might be the first. When I got back into tarot, after just using the Rider-Waite-Smith forever, the first tarot deck that I bought was this one. Because I'm like, I want an earthy. I want an earth. I want like a Gaia focused. I want the forces of the earth. I want a representation of the material plane with which we live in a tarot deck. And it wasn't quite what I was looking for, but it was good enough in its own way. I also have the pocket edition and both of the... Oh, wait. I need to grab... Maybe... This is going to be a complicated... sorry, the Oracle decks that go with it. Give me 1 second. Okay, here's the boxes for the Messenger Oracle. I need to zoom out all the way for this one. Messenger Oracle and the Secret Oracle. I think I'm going to finally get rid of the boxes. I don't need them. I'll probably keep the deck around forever. But because I amalgamated the two decks together, I have all of the extra cards that I didn't want right here. I never use them. Some of them got edged and others didn't. But I think I'm just going to get rid of the extra cards because I have no intention of separating these out. I probably won't get rid of them, and they're just mass market, so if I do get rid of them, it's going to be in a way that's warm. You know? So, yeah, these are all the ones I didn't like, so I took them out, which is fine. And then this is the deck that's left of the ones that work quite well. And I exclusively use this Oracle deck with the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, which has its own weird system, but whatever, I can get on with it. It's its own weird kooky thing, and I like it for what it is. I do appreciate Raven's art style. A lot of people don't. That's fine. It's an acquired taste, and I have it. And it has kind of some nostalgia baked into it for me, which is nice. And it's got its own little companion. And then the pocket one, which is on matte cardstock, and it's just a little guy with a little tiny book. It's here, and it lives next to my bed, and I use it quite a bit. The reason I like this so much, I think, well, it's funny because purchasing it specifically because I was like, oh, a deck that's, this is of the earth. It's an earthy deck. It reflects my connection and relationship with Gaia. It ends up, it's more of an airy deck. It really taps into my education in history and psychology of all things. The book is written in a very psychological way. And that's interesting to me that it ended up being so airy after like seeking out an earth deck. But anyway, it's one of the few decks that I kind of let be that. A lot of the times I don't particularly appreciate that type of language, but here it's framed in such a way that there's like a good mix of perspectives. The upright and reversed in this are very useful. That's why you'll see reversals in it. In both of them. I do like to take that into account because it's part of the message that comes through so strongly is whether or not a card would be upright or reversed with this particular deck. So anyway, I like it a lot. This one literally sits next to my bed, and I do nighttime pulls with it occasionally. These two, they're so cozy together. They're such like a nice little comforting and rewarding, like if I'm tender, this is such a hug deck combo for me. I love it so much. So anyway, these are good. These are staying. I'm going to get rid of these extra cards here. And then I think we're supposed to be talking about the Intuitive Night Goddess over here, but she's not it. I don't think she's got what I'm looking for. It's missing the juice. It's missing the juice. And I never pick her up. And I think this is a really good one to give to someone else. Yeah, I'll see if... Actually, speaking of my sister might want this one. Might be a good one to give to her. Just as one to try. Because it's cool, and it's pretty, and it's good. But she also might be sick of me trying to give her tarot decks all the time. Does anyone else have that problem? Let me know. Like, I already have one. Why are you giving me another one? It's like, oh no, you need more. But anyway, it's a good deck. It's just one I don't reach for very often. And yeah, so the Intuitive Night Goddess is going to go. And the extra cards from the Seeker and Messenger Oracle over here are also going to go. This is another instance where we can bang out like 4 decks in one go. I like the speed with which we are going through these. Okay. The Ad Orbita deck, the Ophidia Rosa deck, the Pythia Botanica Volume 1 and 2, and they're by Leela and Olive. She has another deck called Vox Lux Umbra, and I think it's just like a gilded one with new art in it, and I did want it when it came out because I was in a like gotta collect them all sort of space, because cute little plant deck, space deck, astrological deck, kind of. But I'm glad I didn't, because I feel like in my brain it would just sit in the exact same space as this one because of how I use them. Like, even though each card is different from this one, it would be like the same deck, which is a problem I have with these two. They're 2 separate decks, but in my brain they're the same deck. So when it comes to choosing which one to use, I'm like, oh, I don't know. They're the same. But they're different. There's nothing that distinguishes them other than Volume 1 and Volume 2. So if you're like, hey, which one do I use? Well, it's like, well, I don't know. Because they're the same premise. It's just like an expansion. So like I could put them together, but then they wouldn't fit in their boxes. So anyway, that's just like a logistical problem I have with these, but I like them quite a bit. Let's show you some cards. And it's plants with a keyword. And then there's the little guidebook, which is not in alphabetical order or numbered in any way. So it's always really fun to try and find which card you've pulled in it. And then let's get this one out. I love how, like, kooky this is. Kooky's not the right word. It's not really kooky, but it's just its own unique little thing. Both of them, actually all of these are. Her decks are all very, like, it's like her personal experience with the energies of these cards. Because it's not super clearly tarot. Well, it is, but it's not. But, like, okay, do you see what I mean? Like, these are... they're the same. There's nothing that would distinguish them from one another, except perhaps the slight color difference in the background splooches. But it's just a plant and a title, which is great if you want a plant deck, which I do. And I do kind of like it. I like how it's illustrated and all that jazz. Anyway, those are those. I like how I'm talking about the ones that I want to keep, and I'm being critical of them. But I'm critical of everything. Nothing gets a free pass around here. Tarot has some plant energy on it, but it's less about what type of plant it is, and it's more. I read this one like I do that mushroom deck. I'm like, oh, it's the Knight of Swords. I've got my internal meaning, and then I go to the little pamphlet because she's got like a little weird girl quote on it. I don't know, how do I describe it? I'll read you the Knight of Swords, just so I can explain what I mean. Because it's not really a tarot meaning. It's more just like a phrase, which is fun to think about sometimes, because I already know what the Knight of Swords means to me. But in her little thing, so here, it's just, this is it. So for the Knight of Swords here, we've got, with no fear for mystery, we see all that lurks, courageously weeding through the brush and the murk. So it's like a little poem, a little incantation. Super witchy, super cool, super special. We got the Nine of Pentacles over here. Let's see what it is. The fruits of the night remain in the morn. Let go of old light, replant, and be born. And like, what does that have to do with the Nine of Pentacles? And then my brain does backflips, but in a fun way. Like if I'm in a space where I want to like do mental gymnastics to find my tarot reading, or just it opens the doors for that intuition to flood in. Because as soon as you start to think a little bit more deeply about the meaning instead of just taking it as rote or assuming what you assume, other things kind of flood in at you, which is really quite good and very cool. So anyway, I like this for what it is. It's a weird little guy. If you don't have a solid understanding of tarot, you're gonna hate this. If you don't like a deck that isn't clear in the guidebook, you're gonna hate this. It's like the imagery isn't super intuitive, because if I did this, would you have any idea what card that is? Would you say Two of Pentacles? Would you count the flowers and maybe think it was a court card? I don't know. But anyway, it is its own weird little thing, and I like it. Bottom line is I like it. Super witchy. When I'm in a planty-wanty space, that one is good. So. The one I'm considering getting rid of over here, though, is Ad Orbita, because it takes the kooky weirdness to a little bit of a next level, because it adds kind of an interstellar perspective on it. There's also plants. There's a foxglove in there, too. So plants present, but then we also have the Two of Swords, which is either a black sun or an eclipse of some sort. Queen of Wands, we've got more flowers, but they represent astral bodies occasionally as well. Hangman, that'll be Neptune. And I know that because I know that. So it is a very clever deck. It makes sense. Like, of course Neptune's on the Hangman. But if you didn't know that Neptune was supposed to be on the Hangman, how would you know? Right? Five of Pentacles over here. A little spider action. There's some meteorites in the Hierophant. Queen of Pentacles. And like, there's some repeated imagery. A lot of the cups, it's just this wave. And then, so it's the 7. In theory, there's 7 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe not. I don't know. Oh no. Yeah, 7. I can count. But yeah, it's a weird little guy. And I think this one is just pushed. It's pushed me a little bit too far into that, like, okay, now it's too much work to figure out the message for me. Whereas this one's a little bit more intuitive, just because of, I don't know why, but it just kind of is. So maybe, oh, there's Mercury there on the Magician. But maybe I should keep it, because it's cute and fun. I don't know. It's one I would need to spend some more time with to like develop that personal relationship with a little bit more deeply. It's interesting, like plants and planets together though. Like, where are you going to find a deck that has plants and planets together? 10 of Swords. Look at that. Page of Swords. It's so clever. And there's more cleverness that I can't even like explain to you in this quick little trying to rush through a million decks sort of framework, but yeah, no, it's so cool. But I just, pulling more than like 2 cards is kind of a lot of work for me with this one. But then of course Venus is on the Empress, just doing her thing, being amazing. So you can tell she gets and she knows. But yeah, space and flowers. 8 of Swords here. Yeah. Jupiter. Yeah, why is there 5 little circles on the 10 of Cups? Help! Anyway, yeah, like there's more. There's more that I should learn about this one. And it's probably space related. And it's like testing my astrological knowledge. But anywho, I think the Ad Orbita Tarot, just my even how I feel about it, just going through it compared to these ones, like literally right next to each other, I think it's gonna go into limbo for right now. Because even though it's beautiful, I love this navy blue with the pops of burgundy. Makes me so happy. But yeah, a tarot deck from the soul to the stars. But I think it's maybe time. And then these guys are gonna hang around, because why not? Even just the name, you know, Pythia Botanica. She'd love that, I bet. Whew, okay. These are gonna stay at Orbita. Gonna go. Okie dokie. So I've picked to go up against the Dirt Gems deck. Sorry, we're all confused here. We've got the Magical Botanical Oracle by Maxine Miller and Chris Penzak with a huge book. The book is thicker than the stack of cards, which I love. Chris Penzak is kind of an icon in kind of modern witchcraft education, shall we say. And I appreciate that perspective. These are beautiful as well. And I can't remember the name of the artist on the Dirt Gems deck because it's on the book and the box, which isn't right here right now. So both of these are mass market as well. I think this one, they're both plant decks. They're both very magical. I think it just comes down to which I'm more likely to use and reach for. And in entire honesty, I have hardly reached for the Dirt Gems at all since I've got it. This one is a little bit more intuitive for me. This one I need the book, which just means I need more practice, but maybe I'm not willing to invest that time in this one right now. Whereas this one is a more easy read. But at the same time, the practicality of these just plant title oracle decks. So it just says Yarrow, and then it has its Latin name, and this one just has the plant name, and that's it. Like, you need the guidebook. These are ones you need to spend some time with when you're using them in a context of a reading, and I don't know. This one's a little bit more intuitive because there's, for me, more going on in the art that I can pick up on. Sometimes this one, it's like a bit of a mystery, and that might just be a me thing. Might just be, for me, I have some trouble figuring out the mysteries that's gone on in these cards. But, like, there's some good ones. Like, I love, like, the choice of plants to put in this deck is really good. Both of them are good. But this one, there's just, like, half as many cards in the Magical Botanical as well. But they're the same, but they're so different. I don't know. I think she's in both of them. I don't know. But I think it's the art style, and the art style doesn't feel like me, even though the content of this. Like, I love the plants. I'm potentially willing to go to the book to spend time and kind of get what the creator is trying to teach from the experience with the plants. But something's keeping me from it, and it might just be the colors. It's so bright. But it's also so good. So I don't know, I'm very torn. I'm very torn on this one, but I think it might be the one that ends up in purgatory for a little while. And then the Magical Botanical may stay out. But I will say I don't use this enough. It's got a Hellebore card. Look at her. She's gorgeous. Oh. I love my Hellebores. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Yarrow's in both too. I think, yeah, Dirt Gems is gonna chill in purgatory for a little while. And if I miss her, I'll pull her out. I think today's lesson is a lot of these are just going into purgatory. There's a couple that I think are just gonna immediately go, but I'm having a hard time, guys. I'm just so attached to them. Like, I have such high hopes. Anyway, yeah. I've made up my mind. I never reach for it. And orange, look at it. Ugh. That's me lamenting. I'm not a huge fan of orange. It stresses me out. Caution, danger. Which is funny because fire sign. Anywho, yes. Okay, next pairing. We're going to jump back into do some more oracles. We are going to look at the Magic of You Oracle, very witchy deck, very witchy oracle deck, and we're going to look at it next to the Lost Oracle, and both of these are by Fiona Horn, a practicing witch from Australia, and they're Rockpool decks, so they're both mass market, very similar in many ways. So do I need both? Spoiler alert, I probably don't need both. So this one is a newer one. I think, was it about a year ago that I got it? Maybe 2. Yeah, here they are. Witchy Oracle decks. If you have an active practice which you engage with your life in a magical way, these are good. If you just need some guidance, these are good. I just feel like I like one a whole lot better than the other, and can you guess which one it is? I've been kind of, the ones on this side tend to be the ones that stay, but yeah, I think the Magic of You for me is better. Whereas I think we're in that image on non-depth background territory. I think it's the art style. It's the same problem I had with the Wooden Tarot and the Guiding Light Tarot. This is a whole scene. This is just a thing on a background, and those fall flat, literally flat for me a little bit more than others. It's very clear though. Under Siege, Uproot Your Habits. Oblivion here, Open Your Arms. Unguarded, Trust the unexpected, and Sacrifice, what can you let go of? What can I let go of? House of Love, You Shall Be Loved. Be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. Make peace with your past. The stars will guide you. Celestial Queen. I don't know, one just feels more like me than the other, and it's this one, not this one. The printing quality on this one is a bit rough. I have a few cards that were cut weird, so there's like a white line on the bottom of a bunch of them, and like the black edging, which it's neat that it comes with. Like, it comes with this solid matte black edging, which I do like, and the backs are cool. Yeah, the black comes off. It's just, it was so close, but there was just some quality control issues, I guess, with it too. But it interested me. It was cool. I bought it. I used it a couple times and it was great. But actually, I might even be using it in the little intro section to this bloody video where I make that candle. And it's fine, but I'm not super connected to it, I guess. So yeah. See, we had an expect the unexpected, and now we have an expect the extraordinary. How many more things am I to expect? You belong to paradise, and opposites attract. Anyway, yeah, I think Lost Oracle's gonna go. Easy enough. Easy enough. We don't need to flip through all of them. I just like one more than the other. I don't need both Fiona Horn decks around. And I've made up my mind. So Magic of You Oracle is going to stay. And the Lost Oracle is deeply lost. And ancient wisdom to find your way in a modern world. I'm not sure it is ancient wisdom. But that could just be me. Whereas this is unlock your hidden truths. Sure. Anyway, thoughts. That second one, I don't know, it just feels... mass market, I'm being such a person that's like tied to intention and like why a deck was created and like, the creator made this because they felt like it was like seething in their bones and needed like released from their insides, or like they were just, a check was dangled in front of their face and they were like, "Oh, you make us another oracle deck, you can have this." And like, I don't know, there's a like trying to fish out intention, and in the creation process of decks is tricky, and I put a little bit too much attention in that direction. But I just like to know, you know? Never feels good when it feels like something was made just because someone had to. Because that energy is attached to the thing that's made, and you can't get it off. So anyway, thoughts and feelings, do. Okie dokie. Let's do another pair of decks. We're doing good. So far, we're doing it. The to get rid of pile is looking in a way that I'm happy with so far. We have Messages from the Spirits of Nature Oracle here by Stephen D. Farmer. There's so many oracles in this one. And this is the Nature's Wisdom Pocket Oracle. I think that's what it's called. This one. It's in this cute little book. I wrote some lavender on it. So nice. Okay. You guys know I'm a sucker for a pocket oracle, so this one is definitely going to be the winner. Both of these are kind of what I was looking for when I was talking about, like, with the Dreams of Gaia. We've got, like, forces of nature. We've got, like, things, very material. This is a earth element deck through and through. This one is kind of like public domain art with keyword, which I'm not a huge fan of the design style of this, but I really like the concept, like the structure and intention, like okay, water, lifeblood, that's great, but I also don't like the bags. But that's a me thing. This one is a photograph, which I love, and then on the back there's like 3 little messages that you can use all of, one of however many, just, or like randomly pick one and read, like right now. You are abundant. You are fertile. Don't let ego rule for fear of losing the lot. Exactly. Which makes sense. And then you can pull in like or you can just use the image on the card. The antler is obviously, it's for protection, and it's also a very like showy, like, my antlers are bigger than yours situation, right? Like, and a display of age as well. So anyway, there's lots you can go on with this, like so much. Snake shedding tracks. It's just like a way to kind of divine with the energy of what's going on around you in nature. Ted Andrews' book, Nature Speak, like that. Think like that. And that's kind of what I love. I love getting messages from nature in time, and like your intuition like popping off and letting you know that, that's a sign, that's a message, that's what you need to know right now, kind of thing. So having it in deck form is kind of what I like. But one of these, as I said, is a little better than others. But this one, I've used it a lot and it works quite well. I think I just aesthetically don't get on with it, which may be shallow, but that's okay. Remember, we can't love everything. Clouds, eggshells, leaf, rice, jasmine. So there's the odd plant, tree trunk, hive and ocean, waterfall and shell. Like, in theory, so good. In practice, I don't know. So that one I think is going to go. And I'm going to keep this little guy. It's more cards anyway. Shed skin. And there's a lot of overlap in them. We have snow. There's a thirst card. Ooh, and sand. They both came up together. Well, that's fun. We have sand and thirst. Stone and clear quartz. Oh, what else? Yeah, I guess that's just saying that they're, fern frond, and then there is a fern in the image, that they're just so similar. I think that's a sign they're so similar. We do not necessarily need both. The scent of rain. Yes. Yes, yes. Lightning. Mushrooms. Sage. Cave. I love a cave card. You know I love a cave card. That is a good card. That makes me want to keep it. There's a few in this that make me want to keep it. Hurricane. Also, Melissa, guys, eh? Oh my goodness. Anyone anywhere near the Caribbean right now, my heart is with you, just so you know. River. Yeah, so they're very similar. So, and I think Moss was in this too. Yeah, I think they're interchangeable at this point, so I don't have any trouble letting go of this one, I don't think. I thought I might have more trouble, but just seeing how much crossover there is, Yeah, okay. Messages from the Spirits of Nature is going to go. A very useful deck. I think someone will get a lot of good use out of that, especially if they're looking to connect with the energy of the earth. It is a good deck, but I have this, and I'm more likely to use it, and I don't need to have the extra one around. It is a Hay House deck, so if I need it again, I know where to find it. I want a pocket deck. Love a pocket deck. So yeah, that one's going to stay. Actually, I don't think I'm going to compare this one with anything right now, but this one is very much along those same lines as well. Sacred Earth Oracle. This one's a little bit more like woo-woo-y than the other ones. It's a little less like actual thing on the ground, but it really, especially in the guidebook, taps into the energy of the earth. And this one is definitely not going to go anywhere because I'm currently using it. This is one that stays out all the time downstairs in like a shared space, and I pull a card and I just leave it in the windowsill, and I like to think that my husband reads them when they're out and has some thoughts about it. Maybe not, I don't know. Also, I like it in the practice of focusing energy. So I'll pull a card, I'll leave it out, and I'll leave it out for a while. Like right now, it's the heat card, and it is the time of year where we just lit the fire as well, which worked out kind of nicely. But then we can focus that energy on that keyword of heat and kind of let it bring about what that means. Anyway, I like this deck a lot. And there is a little tie-in in the guidebook to a specific process in the earth, which kind of brings it back around to kind of being very similar to those other decks, but I like it a lot. It's gorgeous. Very painterly. Nice little blue angel deck. It's one I like. So it's going to stay. Good keywords. Very nice. Sacred Earth Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno. Let's do this. Let's do 3 at once. This is another one that's going to definitely stay. This is the Memento Mori Oracle, the Antique Anatomy Tarot. It's been out for a few weeks. It will be out for a few more weeks. I've been having a great time. I've been pulling a lot of the Lenormand cards in the Memento Mori Oracle, which is nice because it's giving me the opportunity to read, because I'm admittedly not very good at reading Lenormand. So anyway, these like they're that nice pippy feel for me. Like I read them very surface levelly. Like I don't go super deep with them, which I think is by design. These are by Black and the Moon, which is nice. She lives really close to me actually. Hey. Yeah, she's from around here. So I like to feel like these are like supporting a local artist as well, which I love. But yeah, they're quite good. They're, the Antique Anatomy is infamous in the tarot community at this point, and the Memento Mori as well. I believe, was there a reprint of the Oracle of Oddities recently too? Which I don't think I need, but because I have these, but like, oh, maybe. Anyway, good ones. I've been pulling spreads with them. They're really good for like getting more of a fortune tellery type style reading, especially with this, which is fun sometimes. But then, this is also just a tarot deck you can read with. Oh no. However, also good backs. Take note. All right, so those are going to stay because I like them and they're good. Very witchy. And one that I'm considering getting rid of. I think I am going to. I'm going to let this one go. It is a good deck, though. It is a good deck. This is the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot. This is by Ethany. And this, I think, in my professional opinion, is Ethany's best deck, which I do like quite a bit. It's good. It's very... I've said this before. This is a good one to learn on. If you like this art style and you're not super chuffed with the Rider-Waite-Smith, this is a good one to kind of get your bearings with tarot with. And putting these ones next to each other, these are not the same in any way whatsoever. These are wildly different decks. And there's some cards in this that I really, really do love. I'm almost loath to get rid of the deck because how much I like the sun card in it is so good. It's very clear. The guidebook has lots of it's just, yeah, really helps you understand the symbols. Very clear, very simple. It doesn't like swamp you with text. If you are a young reader, this is one I would recommend. I would not recommend this because the guidebook is minimal and it's missing much of what makes tarot tarot. But I like it for other reasons, right? hard trying to explain these weird nuances with tarot decks. It's wild. But anyway, I don't mind these backs. I'm not a huge fan of the hollow on the edges, but I think a lot of people would like that, especially the younger contingent who are the ones who might be learning. Anyway, this was also sent to me by Ethany, and it's a modern illustrated deck. And I think, as modern illustrated decks go, it's an art style that I can get on with a little bit more than others. But I don't reach for it. I have too many decks. I'm so sorry, Anthony. I have too many decks. But I think this one is one that needs to be in the hands of someone who's still learning, and that's not me. Like, I'm always learning, you know what I mean? But I think it's oh, see, there it is. There's that sun card. Isn't she beautiful? Look at her. I love that card. That is so good. But yeah, I think this one, like, even when I'm holding it, when I'm like looking at it, it feels like it already belongs to someone else. I don't know who that is, but it's almost like it's trying to get there. So yeah, it's cool. I like it. It has all the goodness that a Rider-Waite-Smith clone or Rider-Waite-Smith adjacent deck should have, but it's just really one that it isn't for me, I don't think. Maybe it's too modern. I don't know. Maybe I'm a weirdo when it comes to modern decks, but it is good. It is really good. Oh, I like that one too. Look at that color palette. That's good. I have so many clones, guys. So many clones. We will get to most of them soon, but anyway, I put it in the witch decks category because there's a bit of a witchiness to it. It's called the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot. I think it's just like I've got some moon phases. It has that kind of feel about it, but it almost transcends just the witchy category in its own way to be close to that more like universal tarot space that the Rider-Waite-Smith comfortably sits in, which is like a can use anywhere, anytime kind of deck. Anyway, I'm just like flipping through it, giving myself a cute little reminder that this particular art style, it's close, but not for me. Needs to be in the hands of someone else who will love and appreciate it. And it's an indie deck. It's really good quality. The box is great. The book is great. No complaints. The box is a medium-sized box. It's not a huge, obnoxious one, which I also appreciate quite a bit. So yeah, Cosmic Wisdom Tarot by Ethany. The artist, art by James Fenner. There it is. He's the one. So anyway, I'm gonna let that one go. My Black and the Moon, Claire Goodchild decks are gonna stay for now. So I'm using them right now, and basically, if I'm using a deck right now, presently, is pretty good indication that it's going to stay. Okay, those are all the ones that I've officially considered getting rid of. I think we did a good job. We filled my pile, and I feel better about those ones. But I just need to bang through another dozen or so decks that are within the witchy decks category that I'm keeping. So let's just whiz through them really quick. We have the Heartwood Tarot. Not necessarily super witchy to everyone. To me, feels kind of witchy. This is my house spirit deck, so thus is witchy. I use this one to work with the spirit of my house, which by extension is tied to my grandmother as well, because my grandparents lived here and my grandma died in this house. So there's some fun information for you. So yeah, obviously very witchy. This is an Adam Ohlers deck and Stephanie Burrows. This is my favorite of all of theirs. It's probably the only one I'm going to get. They also did the Oak Ash and Thorn and the Smoke Ash and Ember, and there's Thistledown Oracle as well. And there's like a little spider one coming soon, maybe, hopefully, if my premonition is correct. But this one is 1,000% for me, and it fit a very glaring need I had in my deck collection that serves a specific purpose. So this is my house spirit deck, and I love it, and I use it for that, and it's really very good. And because we've been doing a lot of work on the house lately, it's nice to convene with the house spirit and see how they're doing in the process, because it's like undergoing surgery for it. Got new doors and windows. Bits of it we're Ship of Theseusing our house here, so at what point does it no longer become the house it once was? deep questions. But anyway, this is a great one, and I'm obviously keeping it, and it is a very witchy deck for me, so love it. And it lives in a Peggy bag. Isn't that pretty? Yes. Another one. This is one of the only Oracle decks that is animal focused that I have and like. I have recently, this is a very recent thing for me, found meaning for myself within birds. Animals in general, I'm kind of blah on, but birds suddenly have struck a chord with me in a weird way. So this deck, the Spiritual Meaning of Birds Oracle, I could have, again, just, you know, this might be a situation where maybe getting a book might have been useful. But there was a deck in existence by a creator that I really like. This is Anne-Marie Hiscock, the creator of that Green Witch Oracle, as well as a few books. This deck it's good. I love the old paintings. It's the name of the bird with some keywords, and it's just been sitting nice for me and fits that space that I have that has been interested in bird-specific energy. Which is such a weird thing to say. And there's a goose card. There is a silly goose card. Abundance, protection, and teamwork. Silly goose. I love it. Canada goose. Represent. There's grackles, which are everywhere here. Look, he's even on eating my freaking corn. Rude. Our corn's supposed to be harvested this week, and it just rained on it, which is not good. But anyway, it's fine. The birds are probably thoroughly enjoying it. Gulls, chickadees. It works. I like it. I've been pulling, actually, this is one I'm also currently using presently. My card is Sparrow right now. There's a swan, yellow warblers, hummingbirds. Yeah. Anyway, I like it. It's gonna stay. Oh, should I just start grabbing? May as well. This is the Herb Crafter's Tarot. This one lives in my kitchen usually with the Nature's Pharmacy Oracle deck, and gets used when I'm in the kitchen and need to have a tarot deck. I think this is another one that's like mildly iconic within the tarot community at this point. It's an acquired taste as well. I feel like if you don't work with plants, this one might be hard. This is one I only like a couple cards at a time with, just because of my reliance on the guidebook, which you'll see the guidebook was in the bag with it. Like that's, I do like to have the guidebook with it. There's also a really neat thing in the guidebook at the bottom. It shows you literally how to craft with that herb, how it's been used in the past, what you can do with it, etc. There's a kind of small condensed message whilst also being a tarot deck. It's quite well thought out. It's simple and complex at the same time. There's levels of simplicity, but there's also some depth that you can go into, drawing on the folklore of the use of that plant, and I like it. So it's going to stay and continue to be my kitchen deck. So, and I can always also just read, like, say, for example, like I read the mushroom deck where it's just like, oh, that's the judgment card, and then go about my business. But I can also pull in all of the wisdom contained within Tulsi itself. So it's good that I've recently, this is a recent development, freed myself from the need to absolutely dissect every bit of the creator's intention of message of a card when I'm using it. And that's very difficult for me when I'm using decks that have, like, the creator has crammed so much wisdom into each card. Sometimes when you're trying to pull a spread with multiple cards, that becomes a lot. I've freed myself from the need to understand so much about that message in that time, and it's actually made using these decks a lot better, and having them in my hands and the repeat exposure to them without the pressure of feeling the need to absolutely, like, squeeze every droplet of wisdom out of each of the cards in every moment you use it has made it so I'm more likely to use them, which in the long run will make it so that more of that wisdom makes it into my personal experience. So anyway, it's just a very interesting thought as well. So if you're struggling with the deck that has, like, just so much going on, maybe just, like, free yourself from the need to understand it all at once and just use it gently, use it lightly, use it softly, and then slowly go deeper with it as your experience with it grows. So that's what I'm trying to do with this one. And it's really good. And there's a slippery elm on the 5 of Earth. My goodness, that's perfect. Anyway, yes. The Fool's the Dandelion. Absolutely. Okay. So that's going to go away. And this bag is inside out because I've been meaning. I have the fabric and everything. I need to make an outer lining for the bag. So I've turned this bag inside out and it's going to be like the slippery inside for it. And then I want to make an outer bag for it so that it's pretty on the outside. But I just haven't got around to doing that yet because there's just so much to do and so little time. Okay, crows. Let's do some crows. Because crows are witchy. I'm wearing my Crows Before Bros shirt. Which is hilarious. I do love a crow. Crow Tarot, Urban Crow Oracle. I said they were going to show up. It's crow time, as always. I really enjoy these decks, and they're not going anywhere. This one more so than this one. And I don't think I would ever use this without this one. Specifically because it has more of that. There's no people in this one. And I've said before, I read it like a pip deck with crows. Which is great. Works nice. Like, don't consider these animal decks. This one, anyway. This one kind of is. So maybe that's why I'm not as jazzed about it. And there is evidence of humans in this. It's the Urban Crow Oracle. There's always, like, something, like, setting a scene. It takes place in the city. There's, like, you know, they're in situations that they would otherwise only be when humans exist and are involved. So it's kind of got an interesting vibe that way, which makes it not my favorite. But the keywords on it are quite interesting and very good and do come out as needed sometimes. And I've also dedicated these decks to work with a specific set of deities. So, so they're going to stay. So, they're by MJ Cullinane as well. Sorry, I forgot to say. They're both mass market. I don't know if you can still get the indie version of this one. I'll have to check her website. And there's another crow deck that she's made as well. Something with a raven, perhaps. But I don't need another one. I have so many crow decks. As much as I love them. Learning, in my ripe old age of however old I am, that enough is indeed enough. So, not enough, an enough is enough sort of way, but in like a enough. It's enough sort of way. Yeah. So, anyway, these are fun. And I like them. And they're going to stay. Okie dokie. Another one that's going to stay. Actually, ooh, this might be an interesting one to compare. I have the Compendium of Witches Oracle over here and the Solitary Witch Oracle. And I originally was thinking I was going to keep both of them. Weird things might happen right now, actually. Let's see. Let's see how we go. Good bags. I love these bags. Norman also likes these bags. He's very drawn to them for one reason or other. How curious. Compendium of Witches is by Natasha Illink? Is it a ch? I'm not sure. I'm so sorry. I'm unable to pronounce your name correctly. And then this is by Lucy Cavendish, and the art is by Lady Victoria, and I think she's another one that's Canadian, so repping the Canadian artists here. This one is so cute and nice and sweet, and I actually would really like maybe a tarot deck in this. I know it's like we've got the witchy hats as well. There's something about this that's just really comforting and calming and like a cute, cozy witch style tarot deck that's more like this, a little bit darker, that has that the darkness to it that might be nice. I know the Cozy Witch Tarot exists, but it's a bit too twee for me. I don't know. Maybe I'll get it one day. Okay, Compendium of Witches. I have it separated still into its two sections because I use them differently. So within the Compendium of Witches deck, there are cards of kind of witchy archetypes, basically. Basically, you know, what type of witch are you? And then there's a bunch here. I find those like online quizzes deeply unhelpful, but when it comes to separating the archetypes out into different cards that you are using as a representation of the self that is you that contains multitudes, it's quite useful. Like, I use this section of this deck when I'm like, who do I need to be right now? Or like, how do I need to show up in my practice as a potentially witchy person? Blah, blah, blah. I don't like using the label. And then I'll pull like this one. It would be the priestess. Okay, today I would focus on doing something that would align with that particular archetypal energy. There's a like kind of a backstory about each of these figures. Some historical, some borderline fictional. But it's interesting. that's not where I get a lot of the value from this deck. I use it as like a specifically witchy archetypes deck, which is cool. But if you don't practice like that, then see yourself comfortably inhabiting any of those archetypes in this deck probably isn't going to be super useful for you in that way. Shapeshifter. He's pretty easy enough, right? The healer. Need to like do some healing practices and that sort of thing. The hermit. I just need to do my thing in a hermit, you know, like it's actually really useful that way. So this section I use like that. The stargazer. Time to look up some charts, you know, check what's going on in the sky. Be your astrology girly kind of situation. And then this one is more like a figure. This is more of your divinatory side of the deck. So we've got moon, we've got autumn, mirror, oath, pomegranate. I love a pomegranate card. Cornucopia, briar, goat. I think if this deck was just what it was on its own, I wouldn't necessarily want it. But because it is mixed with this kind of archetype's energy, it's more useful for me. Standing zone, temperance, mountain, roots, familiar. Like this one fits into that same category as like the Green Witch Oracle and the Green Witches Oracle. Like those ones, which are just like, it's a list of things and then find message accordingly without like, there's not a whole lot of structure. It's just kind of like whatever, a bee, a sprout, a staff, an offering, a sickle, a rest, a teeth, a pruning. I will say though, I do love a teeth card. There's a few decks I have that have teeth cards. And I always love them deeply. But yeah. So that's that half. So that's that one. Compendium of Witches Oracle, which is like 2 oracles in one. And then we have our cute little solitary witch over here, which is like this is cozy, this is gentle, this is sweet. There is a bit of a Wheel of the Year baked into this one. So there's like the Sabbats as well as some seasonal energy that kind of floats through it. But it's just, it's gentle advice. I don't take this one too seriously. I don't ask this one big questions. I just kind of will pull it when I'm looking to set the mood, to be what it is that I am when I am. And I think this was one that I may also grow through as well. But I'm not sure. Who knows? Gentle Path of Inspiration, Spells from the Hearth. The cards are simple. There's more in the guidebook. Is this a Lucy Cavendish? I think it is. Did I say? Yeah. Yeah, this is the Lucy Cavendish one. So there's lots in the guidebook if you want. I tend to pick and choose. I will like skim read them. And if something jumps out at me, I'll go off of that. But anyway, it's nice and I like it. So we're going to keep that one. I think. Pretty sure. Yeah. The one I was considering, like, being like, oh, maybe I'm done with is this one. And I think it was just because of this half of it. But I think I really like having these as just like honestly, like a little, as I've called them before, little personal weather vanes. So, like, check in with yourself in your practice. Like, what aspect of yourself does your practice need right now? So, the scholar, need to learn a little bit. Do you need to divine? Do you need to look into something? Do you need to pull some cards around something and see the artist? Do you need to create? You know? So, anyway, it's very good for that. So, yeah, I guess I was considering thinking that one might go, but I don't think so. I think it's going to stay. What I might do is I might make a little bag for the 2 separate decks. Because when it's in its box, I'm less likely to pick up for, especially when it's like all complicated and layered and stuff. So I might make a couple of cute little bags for that one so that the decks are separate and I have them as like 2. Okay, a bunch of plant decks. A bunch of plant decks that are going to stay. We have Tree Spirit Tarot. This one is iconic and so good and I love it. Also, I made this bag out of an old dress that I had when I was young. Isn't that cute? It kind of works. I didn't measure anything. It was wild. And like, it's even lined with a little silk lining. But it's ridiculous and wild. I should really try my hand at bag making again, because there are so many decks I need bags for. Rose Oracle. This was an amazing gift from Candy, Soul and Soil. I love you so much. I miss you. You should come back. But also, if you're not in a space where you want to come back, that's fine. But just know that my heart aches for your tarot and witchy videos. But that's totally fine. She's having a great time doing her little Victorian literature. Okay. Lover's card. Tree Spirit Tarot. Myrtle. This is so good. So this is a tarot that has been attached to trees. There's a keyword. There's the tarot. There's everything you could ever want. There is lemon purpose. There's also almond purpose. I love it. It's so good. So anyway, that one is amazing and iconic and so good, and it's not going anywhere. And another one is the Fire Flower Tarot by Brandy Eve Allen. This one is another wonderful gift from a wonderful subscriber as well. And this one is like a light in the darkness. There's flowers, but it's also kind of a intense, energetic burst of light and sensuality. It's a very sexy deck in its own way, and I love it so much. And this is one that's like, it's a hug deck. This one, like, if I'm in need of comfort and solace, this one surrounds me with a kind of peace that I can't find anywhere else, and I appreciate it and I like it so much. So definitely not going anywhere. Thank you very much. It's just like, it's like being in the flowers, on their level, amidst a bouquet of blooming perfection, the height of that plant's existence, truly. Like, when a plant is flowering, that is it's peaked. It's incredible. It's like an orgasm. Really, truly is. Anyway, yes, that one's so good, and it's definitely staying. If you'd like to hear more about this, I think I did a whole video on it. Whether that's in the member space or not, I can't remember. I think it's public. But yeah, if you want to learn more about the Fire Flower Tarot, you can have a look at that one. All the things I said about the Fire Flower Tarot apply here to the Rose Oracle, while also having that specific Venusian, there's aspects of Mary in here too. It's incredible. It's so sweet and so gorgeous and wonderful and just a hug. And the fact that both of these were also gifts just makes them that much more special. So I love my roses. I love them so much. They're some of my favorite flowers to grow, even though they're kind of a nightmare to grow. But it's worth it. The work is worth it. But yeah, the Rose Alchemy Oracle, sorry, is the name of this one. And it came from the UK. Like, not just from Candy, but that's where it's from. I forget the name of the creator. But, oh. Yeah. So, those are special. Get to live in special bag that I handcrafted. And yes, sorry, we'll go back to our tree. These are, like, yeah, some of the best decks. Monkey Puzzle Tree! I'm obsessed with Monkey Puzzle Trees. And actually the fact that it is the Page of Wands is just so perfect and amazing in every possible way. There's like a deep knowing and deep connection with the earth in these decks. Like, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like a tarot that's connected to the earth. Oh, Rowan Tree is the Fool. It's a reflection of life, as tarot is a reflection of life within the spectrum of trees. And I love trees. Oh my gosh. Okay, yes. Yep. And in the bag, sorry, I always show, I keep a piece of, there's dirt in there because I was using it in the garden lab, like one does, but I keep a piece of petrified wood in there with it, which I don't know if it's cruel or not, I don't know, but it's just having the energy of tree, and they're also made of paper, which is also the energy of tree, but just having it like all together there is nice and makes me happy. Okay guys, we're doing so good. We're getting there. I can see the bottom of the pile, sort of. All right, here's a couple more lovely little witchy decks that are gonna be staying. Oof. We have the Earthbound Oracle, which lives in this little bag that I made it. Obviously, goes really well. You can tell when I like a bag, or not, when I like a deck, if I've made a bag for it. If I've made a bag, that must mean something quite special. And this other one here is the Old Ways Magic Oracle by Naomi Kornuk, which is another goodie. This one, again, feels, it almost has the problem that the Druidcraft kind of has for me, where it just feels a little bit too outside of myself for me, but it's also not. It also works okay in its own unique kind of vagueness. I don't know how to describe. I just know that I do like it, and it will be staying. It's also not huge, and you know, it's beautiful. I love the line work. This type of art just floats my boat. And this one, the Earthbound Oracle, is the most practical little guy. This is by the same creator as the Wooden Tarot, which I didn't get on with and I didn't like. But I think as an oracle, this works. Even though it's the same like image on single background, the keywords and the way that this deck functions as like a unit, as a complete system on its own, gives the best messages. I love pulling like a 3-card message: life, perseverance, yes. Time, protect, Luna, like the moon, yes. Ceremony, labor, reflect. Like it's so clear. Arcana, of obfuscate and the self. Ooh, like that just, like I love. It works so good in like a little do yourself a 3-card kind of reading, which I love and appreciate. And this one is more of a pull as a single card as an oracle amidst a tarot deck, or just as like an altar card, or, you know, testing the vibes kind of situation. So they'd actually work well together. Yeah, no, they're really good. And I like them a lot. This one is also tied lightly to the Wheel of the Year as well. In the book, it does say... there's also a newer version of this out that has more cards in it as well. Important to know. But yeah, so there's like Imbolc, Kostara, Beltane, Summer Solstice, Lammas, Samhain, and the Winter Solstice in there. They're just good, and I like them, and they will be staying. There's a lot of me kind of baked into specifically this one, just from years of use, and something about just holding this one in my hands feels good. Feels like it has a space. So there is some animal energy in there, but I can work around it. There's enough of a scene present, I think. But I am well aware that there's a good deal of Celtic myth in this one. But I think in this one it makes it more accessible to me, I think. I feel, anyway. I don't know. What do I think? I just know how I feel. Anyway, these are goodies, so they'll be staying. We mustn't linger. We got stuff to do, people to be. Another one that I kind of really quite like. It's another cute little pocket guy. I don't know if you noticed. I do really like a little bridge size pocket deck. They're just so good. Oh, and it's right on top. There's another one with the teeth in it. This is the Gentle Chaos Oracle by Ghost Honey, and it's so good. It's a photography deck and it's really tied to like their whole experience and the way they kind of interact with life and chaos and like a meaning and beauty and simplicity, but it's actually pairs with so many things. It's really quite good, and I like it a lot, and it's gonna stay. Path, the mirror, that's it, by the way. There's a cave card. Remember what I said? We like a cave, and a bridge. Queen of the Night, Roots. There's a little guidebook as well that has a little bit more detail about their specific meaning for these cards, but also you can take it out of that context and just, read it however. A random moon pie card is kind of weird, though. I kind of almost want to take it out because it seems like too personal to them, because we don't even have those in Canada, so I think they're called something else, but anyway, it's just weird. But it's a good one. The mantra, the yellow angel trumpet, the child, the ocean, the goblin of all lost things and stuff. It's fun. Anyway, I like it a lot. And it's a little bit, it has that like, that makes it kind of want to live in this category for me. And it also pairs shockingly well with the Witch's Tarot, believe it or not, by Chris Madsen. We are in the home stretch. we're gonna do two big lots. Two big chunks together. This next chunk is the Witch's Wisdom Oracle cards, the Witch's Kitchen Oracle cards, and the Gothica Revealed Oracle. These two are by the same creator, this one's not, but they really do all kind of feel like they're the same deck family for sure. These are Barbara Micklejohn Free and Flavia Kate Peters decks. These keep in your brain my love for the Dark Fairy Tale Tarot, and you'll see kind of maybe the vibe. They're not old. They look like they were made in 1997, but they're not. Here's the three of them. Definitely an art style from yonder years gone by, but I deeply appreciate them for that. This one's kind of got a gothic theme. They're very silly, but sometimes I can put myself in that really silly place very earnestly, and I appreciate it. The keywords are also really good. Like, they're straightforward. You know, they don't mess about. They're not trying to be something they're not. Mirror, introspection, the jester, entertainment. The dog is guardian. Like, these are useful. I don't know, I like it. So that's that one. This is the Kitchen Witch one. It's plants, plant title, keyword, echinacea, fortify, basil, reconciliation, bay leaves, abundance, arnica, recovery, garlic, repel, elderflower, warning, witch hazel, sensitivity. Like, they're just such practical little witchy decks. Nutmeg is luck, eucalyptus is breathe, milk thistle is intrusion, dandelion is wishes, lemon is bitterness, cloves is gossip, hemp is expansion. But yes, this one is a delight, and the border is the exact same on all of them. Sometimes they'll have overflow. This one's got kind of lavender all over it. They've put the yarrow in, but like the base border is all the same. But I don't know, it's just fun. It feels a certain way, and I really appreciate that. And then we have over here the Witch's Wisdom one, which is just kind of like a more general, just witchy themed one. It's got spirit, moon, cauldron, witch, earth, like a hex, maven, homeland, spell, Samhain, Book of Shadows, Athame, Imulk, cloak, familiar, hand fasting, lord, staff, which is like the divine masculine card, and there'll be a lady one in here too probably. It's got a bit of a Wiccan flair, just a touch. Tarot cards, which is funny because it's not tarot cards, it's this oracle in the picture, which is so funny to me. But I find it charming. Fire, magical circle, Bealtana, Lunasa, water, watchtower. Oh, there's 4 watchtowers, one for each direction, which is correlated with the seasons. So like you see the, I don't know, it's, this is good. Yeah, there's our divine feminine one, Our Lady. Ancestors, ritual. The elements are in here. It just, I don't know, it works. It's sensible. It makes sense. This one makes sense to me. It's gonna stay. These are all gonna stay for now. And very much might be the type of thing that I get rid of eventually. Like, look at them. Look at them. Just look at them. Pentacles abound. Anyway, I'm into it. They're staying. There's other ones. There's a familiar one as well if you like animals or work with familiar energy. There's a familiars one. And is there another as well? There might be 2 more by Barbara Micklejohn Free as well that fit the, like, there's like a whole set of them. But anyway, those are the ones that I like, and they'll be staying. Okay, and the last, guys, we've almost done it. The last pile we're going to talk about is the Seasons of the Witch decks, which I only have 6 of, and none of them are going anywhere because I like them for much the same reason I like those other ones. So I've got the Samhain one here, which I'm currently using. Blessed Samhain, by the way. Happy spooky season. Happy Witches New Year if you celebrate on that particular day. You know how it is. Do some ancestor work. Go to a graveyard. Dig some dirt. Talk to some spirits. You know how it is. All that fun stuff. Okay, so here they are in their entirety. So I have 6 of them. I have Samhain, Mabon, Lammas, Litha, Imulk, and Yule. I'm missing Bealtana, and I'm missing Ostara. The most recent one. I've had these for, I think I started 2 years ago, and I've been kind of going through them, and I pull them out as the season kind of progresses and use them just as a cute little oracle card. This week's one is Intuition, which I should trust more. It says, and I believe them. So I'll pull a card, I'll just have it out. It'll be just like a little weekly hoo-hoo and go about my business. I don't take them too seriously because they don't take themselves too serious. Well, they kind of do. The guidebooks are silly. I will say that. All of them. I don't read the guidebooks for any of them. I read a little bit on the card and I take with it what I need, but I don't put too much weight into what the guidebook says just because it's not my favorite, which is fine. I wasn't home during like the pretty much entirety of the Beltane or Beltane season. Wasn't here. Was gone, out of country. So I otherwise would have purchased it then, but I didn't, so I'm going to wait a whole year. I'll get it next year. And same with the Ostara one. It came out after, and I don't need it until next year, so we'll get it then. I fully intend to get them all, and then as the tarot decks are released, I'll probably get them to work with them as well, because I feel like they'll work quite nicely. And is it a little gotta catch 'em all situation? Kind of a little bit, but at the same time, I really appreciate their soft perspective on the seasons. And as a person who lives an incredibly seasonal life, being a farmer now, officially, is job title, am farmer, I am like, the seasons are important. The seasons are lifeblood. The seasons are what is our survival now. And having a way to honor those seasons and represent that energy through oracle decks and card work is something that's important to me. And it's so nice. I don't know if I'm going to be able to flip through all of these. Is this a bad idea? There we go. So yeah, each of them in design and style really do encompass the feeling of that season. And I tend to kind of switch over. I asked in the Discord how everybody else, when they decide to like switch over between them, is it on the actual day, like on Samhain? Is that when you start using this one? Or do you start like at a set time before, or when the vibes feel right? Like, how does it work for you in switching between them? And I take seasonal cues as soon as it starts to feel like fall a little bit, like end of August, beginning of September, I'll whip out the Mabon one. No. There. This one. And then I'll use it through September. And then once the like cozy fall switches into like the air changes here. And there's a slight chill that is a little bit less warm, more brisk. The air tastes different. Anyway, that's when the Samhain one comes out. And then usually once it starts to snow, we'll get the Yule one out. And then after the light starts to come back a little bit. I know it's like post Yule, the light does come back, but you really don't. It's so dark you don't notice until Imbolc. So when the light starts to come back, it's still cold as fuck here. It's freezing. But the light starts to come back, and I'm usually the hollow shell of myself at that point. That's like my worst time of year. Aquarius season, I'm toasted. I'm basically dead. That's when the Imbolc will come out, and then assuming once, usually around Easter, Ostara, we'll pull that one out. Once things start to thaw. Things don't start to thaw until Easter, which is hilarious. Bloody Canada. Anyway, and then the Ostara one, Beltane, May Day, obviously, flowers. That's usually like peak tulip season. And then after that, Litha, summer solstice, right around before then. You can tell I usually watch the garden for cues when to switch between the Litha, like when I start using the Litha one. It really has to do with the flowers and the intensity of their growth, because like that's peak growth for them right at the summer solstice. And then right around my birthday is the season of Lammas and Lunasa, and you can kind of tell that the plants have peaked. They've started to relax a bit. The flower, like they chill out a little bit, and that's usually when that one comes out. And then end of August, September, we're back around to the Mabon one. So it's that's my system. I like it, and it's very seasonal, and I really appreciate it. And maybe the seasonal way is the way that I want to interact with my witchy decks. I tend to kind of swap them out seasonally anyway. That's normal. But maybe, seeing as I don't actually have any of them yet, which I do have intentions of getting all the tarots that go with these, maybe those will end up being the connected to the earth tarot decks that I want. I was just waiting for the seasonal ones. But like I'm desperate. I am desperate for a witchy tarot deck that actually reflects how I practice. And I'm thinking maybe the Seasons of the Witch are the ones that are going to do it, because like the Everyday Witch I don't like, the Green Witch I don't like, the Witch's Garden I don't like, the Book of Shadows tarot by like the Los Scarabeo ones I don't like. Like I've tried so many. I just don't like them. They're either too Wiccan, or they're too they're not detached enough from a religious system, really. Even there's so much of Wicca that's kind of followed its way into so many things, that so many of the tarot decks in that space have a lot of their, like, even not necessarily on purpose, but just it's there because that's what people think it is. But like, you can have a witchy practice, earth-based pagan like practice without being attached to Wicca. Like, I know it's nice to include them, but maybe we could do some that they're not in. So anyway, that's my opinion. I should have got the Roger Horn Folk Witchcraft Tarot. I should have, but it's not available anymore, and I'm really mad about it, but that's okay. We'll forget about that. Maybe one day I'll find it, but for now, these are my decks, and these ones are all staying. So let me just do a quick, I'll tidy this mess up. Sorry, you just looked at like one of each of them, but you've seen them, and you can see walkthroughs. They exist. They're around. They're not new. I'm gonna show. We're gonna pull out all of the ones that I'm gonna get rid of. I'll show you the ones that are leaving, and then we will wrap up this behemoth of a video. So bear with me 1 second. Alright, you ready, guys? Decks that are leaving officially. Leaving, definitely. Messages from the Spirits of Nature Oracle. The Lost Oracle by Fiona Horn. The Wild Unknown Tarot, Mass Market Edition. Are you counting? Should be counting. So that's 3. Green Witch Oracle. 4. That's by Sherilyn Darcy. Rockpool deck. The Intuitive Night Goddess. I think she is going to go officially. No limbo for her. She's going to go. So that's 5. These 2 boxes, basically just the extra cards from the Messenger and the Secret Oracle. I'm going to count that as a deck. So, that's 6. Cosmic Witch Tarot by Ethany is gonna go. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the rest are going to be kind of purgatory, like limbo, like we're gonna sit on, we're gonna see for a while, which is the Dirt Gems, Ad Orbita Tarot, Forger's Daughter Tarot Afterlight Edition, the Llewellyn Tarot, and the Druid Craft. But I really think the Druid Craft is probably going to just actually like totally go. It'll be around. If I need it again, I can get it again. So we're counting that one maybe as a going. So let's do some tabulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Guys, we did 12. We got rid of 12. Oh, I'm so happy. That's good. I did good. Even though I'm kind of like cheating a little bit by saying these are a deck, but I'm counting it. I'm good. I'm happy about this because I know this was a category that was kind of a little overinflated. It's obviously huge, as you've seen. There's just so many, and I think it's just because I've been on that quest for the perfect witchy tarot deck for me, and I've just not found it yet. So there's some that are pretty close, and there's some that I found really good use for, but a very oracle heavy category as well. I think there's this particular theme lends itself to oracles quite well. Much easier to make an oracle deck in this category, but yeah, these are the ones I'm gonna let go of. So with today's 12 brings us up to 47. Was it 35 before that I've decluttered? Plus 12 is 47, which means we've passed my personal goal of decluttering 40 decks. I think I need to move this goalpost a little bit. I think we need to, because there's many left, and there's definitely some that I'm wanting to get rid of. So I'm so proud of myself. This is great. 47 have gone. We're almost at 50. Let's say 60, potentially 70. If I can get rid of 70 decks, this process, that would be amazing. I love that. Okay, that's like a third. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm so proud of myself. Wow. So yeah, 47 so far. I'll put the correct numbers up on the screen again to show not only how many I've gotten rid of, how many I've kept, and then how many in total we've gone through and we've judged. So super fun. Love that. Okay, wow. Amazing. And thank you so much for being here with me while I struggled through this problem that I've got myself into. This is entirely a me thing. I've done this to myself. This is what happens when you get yourself a nice little treat one day a week for 5 years. But we're slowing down. It's been a while. Like I'm actually truly not getting as many tarot decks in as I used to, and it's a nice pace, and I prefer that, and I really want to, like, the ones I love, I want to use them because I do love them, and I picked them because I love them. So that's the plan. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Next week, we are going to do the Los Scarabeo Tuck Box decks. I hope you're ready. Another mountain of decks. But yeah, should be fun. So happy Samhain. I hope you've enjoyed the Samhain special. Thank you again a million times for being here. It means so much. And I will see all of you fine people in my next video.